Hey, One Brian from Variable Traders here. It is Sunday, September 22nd. I am in Ireland right now and just finishing up a couple weeks of vacation. I'll be back on Wednesday. And so I'm just going to do a quick review of what things look like over the last week and take a look at the week ahead. Maybe see some things we can watch and maybe trade on. So let's take a look at the way things happened. You can see here on Friday we had quite a drop here. All the markets dropped, and that of course was the result of the China trade talks that got cut off early, and of course disappointment in the market, although I'm not really sure why people were expecting a lot out of this. Didn't make a lot of sense to me, and I almost would have expected this. So what else do we have this week? We had Powell talking about interest rates, quarter point cut. He was a little bit dovish on cutting more, I think, which kind of disappointed the market a bit as well. So we'll see where he goes from here on this. But one thing that people haven't really noticed is that they were participating in buying up some of the debt. Yeah, they expanded. I think their balance sheet expanded by about 80 billion, I believe it was, which nobody's talking about QE4, but it almost looks like that's the direction they're heading. So the Fed is definitely there trying to support things and economy and supporting the market. So let's just take a look at how things ended on the week. You can see here we had this nice bounce back after this double bottom on the yields, 10-year yield, and now we're pulling back again. I think we're going to go back down and test this 1.5 level, which will be a good trade for a TLT. We'll talk about that in a little while here. Here's the 10-year. We had an inside. This is a weekly. We had an inside week on this. So I think we're going to head lower on this. The Dow, of course, on Friday, big rejection 2 days, disappointment with the Fed release on the interest rates, and then of course the Chinese delegation leaving early. Let's just skip ahead to the weeklies here. You can see a big rejection, or not a big rejection, a bit of a rejection here at a level that we've tested a bunch of times on the IWM, the small caps, and suspect we're going to chop in that range. The Qs, again, bit of a rejection from this high that we put in back here in July, and we'll see if the Fed can keep things going, and we'll end up ultimately breaking through this. Not really sure if that's going to happen or if we're just going to chop sideways here. And the SPY, again, testing that high on the week, but pulling back. Same story. See, the dollar here just looks like it's narrowing into a pretty slim trading range, so we may expect a break one way or another. It looks like it's going into a pendant, and of course, with the market selling off, we had a bit of a bounce back on the VIX, so putting in a double bottom on the VIX, which could be interesting. We'll see how how the market's open and what direction we're going to take on Monday morning here. So let's take a quick look at some of the stuff we have on watch. Baidu came up nicely. We traded this and came right back up to this prior level, obviously prior levels of support, prior level of resistance, and of course became resistance again. Now we sold off. I'd be looking at this back at 102.5, maybe to take another entry again, because there could be some good support here. It seemed to be where it found support. So I'd be setting alert there for sort of 102.70 maybe. CDC looked like it was going to break out the canopy growth, but then we had some pretty serious pullbacks here on the last 2 days, maybe holding this 25 level, because we did have a pretty good decent bounce off that 25 level on Friday. So kind of be watching for that maybe to move back up to the 2750 range back up in here. FNKO was something that one of our traders sent me an email about and kind of caught my interest. I'm not sure if he's going to trade this, but I was looking at it because I thought it was kind of interesting. They had got a couple levels of support here. A couple times it tested this level and came back up, and now we're back down testing it again. There was some news that came out about them selling 4 million shares, I believe it was, and we had that significant sell-off from this 28 level. So sort of getting into an overreaction area, which might be interesting for a bounce. So I'll be watching. I don't know if I'll be able to watch that on Monday, but if I was active in the market, I would be watching that. Still vacation, obviously, so not in front of my screen all the time to watch these things. I believe here, I think with the Fed back in the market, expanding the balance sheet again, I think Nugget looks like it wants to start to break out here. Gold has probably had a nice pullback, nice big pullback, and now bounced off this level here, pretty clear level of prior support, and we had another support right here, and now looks like it's going to come up and test this 50, and I'd be watching it on Monday to see if we, getting in under 34, 33.8 might be a good place to take an entry, and with a tight stop at 33. But I think Nugget is definitely going to go higher. I shouldn't say definitely, I think it is probably going to go higher. PayPal, looking at this one, it looks like it still may hold this 104 level. Tested it once here. It's pulled back again. So keep an eye on that. It might bounce back up to 106. Another opportunity maybe even to write a 104 put. Sell a 104 put and then collect the premium on that. Roku, I know just from watching some of the trade reviews during the week, I know it's been really active. I mean, this thing with has been taking a real big hit. You can see here, and I talk about this in swing trading. You take, bulls take the stairway up, and bears take the window down. And you can see here, we just bang bang. It took all this time to get up here, and only a couple trading days to get back down to closing this gap here. And of course, once it closed the gap, we had a bit of a bounce here. But this thing, I don't know how you'd trade it right now. It's there's been a lot of technical damage done here, so more of a day trading stock, I think, than a swing trade at this point. Silver, I think, will follow gold. I think we're probably looking at something to trade against here. Doesn't move a lot, SLV. But you can certainly take a trade against that with a stop around 1650, and I'd almost be looking for it to go back to at least 1750 if we do get a nice run in the precious metal complex here. TLT, that's the one that you can play if you think interest rates are going lower, which I was talking about at the beginning of the video. TLT looks like it could actually go back up and test this 148 level. Pretty decent risk to reward. If you used 140, get in and somewhere 140, 140 and a half might be a decent entry on that one. Small caps, I've been watching that. I mean, we've got a bit of a pullback here that I'm not sure if this is going to be a bull flag or if it's going to push higher, or if we've once again tested sort of this 64 level and gotten rejected from there. So I'm going to keep an eye on that one, but it's sort of in no man's land right now. It's back down at this level of support here. UNG, natural gas price, kind of did a bit of a pullback after this big run up and filled a gap here. So notice how we've got a lot of gap fills on this review, but you can see here how gaps get filled and then they bounce off those gaps. So again, always a nice nice level to watch, or trading pattern to look at. If you see a big gap here and you see this starting to pull back, pretty much be assured that you're going to get some level of support right after you fill the gap. So, and USO, price of oil, big spike up on the Iran and Saudi Arabia issue, and now have had the significant pullback, and seems to be maybe stuck around this range right now until some other geopolitical event happens, if anything happens at all. So, and that's about it, everybody. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Like I said, I'm still in Ireland, and I will be back on Wednesday in the afternoon. Back in the room Thursday. I believe we're doing our lifetime member webinar on Thursday afternoon, Andrew and myself, so look forward to that. And keep it green, everyone, during the week. We'll catch up with you again soon. Here's my book, How to Swing Trade on Amazon. If you haven't checked it out already, this is maybe something you might want to look at if you're interested in swing trading. Thanks, everyone, and we'll talk to you later.